Hello! Today we're going to talk about the state seal, and also we're going to talk about our state's nickname. Do you have a nickname? Yeah, what's your nickname? My dad used to call me Chixie, so I don't know what it meant, but that was my nickname. Well, today we're going to start with the seal. And so if you're following along with me in your state history notebook, it is page 17. And so if we look at the top, it says, a symbol is something that stands for or represents another thing. Here is what the parts of my state seal symbolize. Now, our state symbol looks exactly like our flag, Connecticut state flag, and it also has our state motto on it. So you can look here, and this is a picture of our state flag, which we learned about the other day, and you can see it has a shield on it with the 3 grapevines and qui transtulit sustinet, which hopefully you remember from the other day means he who transplanted still sustains. And this is kind of where we got the idea for the seal from. So you're gonna make a seal today. If you feel up to it, you could draw a seal, but I don't want any complaints. Never any complaints, because this is not even fair. When I was a kid and I was in 4th grade, I had to draw our New Jersey flag. And it is crazy looking. I don't have a picture of it right now, but it has 2 ladies. One's holding a torch or something, and there's a horse head on there, and all different types of things. It is so complicated. And this, all it has is 3 grapevines, so this is super easy. Now, a seal, is in a circular form, and so you can see this is our state seal. I had them color this last year when they were in my class. So you can see this is our state seal. It's circular. It looks just like the flag, but in a circle form. You can see on the outside it has the seal of Connecticut, and you can see there's 3 grapevines and the words qui transtulit sustinet. You might be wondering, well, where's the grapevines from? I'm so glad you asked. They're actually taken from a Bible verse. Psalm 80, verse 8 is where they're taken from. And the vines symbolize the colony brought over and planted here in the wilderness. And so we can read in the 80th Psalm, Psalm 80, verse 8, if you have your Bible, it says, Thou hast brought a vine out of Egypt. Thou hast cast out the heathen and planted it. So if you're wondering, what does that mean? Well, think back in the Bible to the children of Israel. Do you remember they were slaves when they were in Egypt, right? God brought the Israelites out of bondage and slavery in Egypt, and he uprooted them, he carried them through the wilderness, and he put them in the promised land. God provided for them, and he sustained them. And this is where these grapevines come from. They were saying, just like God took the Israelites and he uprooted them and he transplanted them into a new land, in the promised land, they said, we were taken from the control of England and having to go to the state church, and now God transplanted us from England and he put us in a new land in the middle of the wilderness, and he said, God's taken us to Connecticut. So he said, and this is where we got our seal. So that's where the grapevines come from the verse. And then the motto, qui transtulit sustinet, stands for he who transplanted, or God who transplanted still sustains. Or it expresses our belief that God who brought the vine over, or the people over from from England, will still take care of them. And that's a great reminder for us. And it's very cool to me that our country and our state was founded on Christian values and Christian morals. And so we sometimes want to get away from that. in our modern world, people try to erase our history, but this is very important, and this is where this came from. So that's our symbol and that's our seal for Connecticut. Now we're going to go on to nicknames. And just like people, states have nicknames. And nicknames reveal some unique features about our state. So I'm going to tell you some of the nicknames that are less popular, and then I'll save the most popular one for last. Well, two of the nicknames that are not as popular are the Land of Steady Habits, and they're also called the Blue Law State. The Blue Law State and the Land of Steady Habits, and that was because we were known for our morals in Connecticut. So we were a good nation, or a good country. Now, a good state. Now, another nickname that we were known for is the Provision State. And I know the boys especially will appreciate this. The Provision State, do you remember the Revolutionary War, or the War for Independence, when we fought against England for our independence? Well, Connecticut was known for supplying a lot of the cannons and the food during the war. So that's why we were called the Provision State. That's our nickname, because we were known for providing those things during the war. Now, another nickname we have was we went to the Provision State. We're also known as the Nutmeg State. Okay, so we're called the Nutmeg State because the early inhabitants of Connecticut were known for being so ingenious, and shrewd. They're very clever, so they were able to make and sell wooden nutmegs. And some claim that wooden nutmegs were actually sold, but southern people that might have bought a nutmeg from a Yankee in Connecticut might have gotten it and thought, oh, I need to crack this open like a walnut. But it's wood, so what happens is if you hit it, it's going to bounce. And so some people who did not know what a nutmeg was, who it had been sold to, got it, and they got super upset, they got tricked into buying a nutmeg. But your parents might know what. Your parents will know what nutmeg is, especially your moms, and you guys will appreciate this too. It's if you take it. They didn't realize, a lot of people didn't realize this, but what you have to do is you have to pound it down to a powder, or even grate it, and it becomes a wonderful spice, nutmeg, which you can season pies and breads with. And so some people called it the Nutmeg State because they said, oh, you trick us into buying nutmegs. Now, the last name that we're going with, and this is the most, this is what we're known for. Even if you look at our license plates, you can see it is the Constitution State. And some of you will remember this Constitution State because Thomas Hooker, one of the most famous settlers in Connecticut, he had a church and he preached this sermon, and he said, people should control the government. Government shouldn't control the people. And he said, you should have the right to elect your officials. You need to have the freedom. The people need to have the freedom. From his sermon, the people came up with a document called the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut. And this was in 1639, and it was the document that established our Connecticut's form of government. Later on down the line, in 1776, the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut, do you remember this? This is way back in history class. The Fundamental Orders of Connecticut served as a pattern for the Constitution of the United States, which is where we get our nickname, the Constitution State, because the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut, our document for our Connecticut's freedom was later used as a pattern for the Constitution of the United States. I hope you learned something from today, and it's really cool because Connecticut, we're a tiny little state, but don't underestimate us. We were founded on Christian values. We were known for our morals and our Constitution state, little Connecticut. We were known for becoming a pattern for the Constitution of the United States. So, don't knock small things. Small things are important. Gotta watch out for the small things. All right, you have a great day and have a good weekend.